Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric, and today's topic is quite interesting. In fact, it might be a little bit polarizing based on where you lay at as far as opinion goes. So, just yesterday, the Google Stadia creative director, whose name is Alex Hutchinson, had a pretty hot take yesterday. And I guess it was in a moment of frustration for certain things going on with Stadia itself as a platform. And I had kind of watched a few videos on what people were saying in regards to the situation. Wanted to go ahead and read an article and give my thoughts on it as well. So if this is your first time coming to the channel, why don't you go ahead and click the red subscription button down below. Enable your bell notification so you don't miss any updates on this story. We're going to read this article from comicbook.com that says Google Stadia creative director, says streamers should pay video game publishers. And this is an interesting take, honestly. I gotta say, first and foremost, I'm a streamer. I stream at least 3 to 5 times a week, and it's a very good way to interact with your community, to get to know regulars who come by your channels, stop on your comment sections and just talk to you. I made a lot of friends actually doing it, and I thoroughly enjoy interacting with my audience. So that's first and foremost why I stream. Now, it says, in a fairly surprising take, Alex Hutchinson, the creative director at Google Stadia, has stated that streamers should be paying video game publishers for the games that they stream. The statement seems to have been prompted by the recent DMCA takedown notices that streamers received regarding music used during streams. So, just recently, a lot of streamers on Twitch received DMCA copyright takedown notices for using copyrighted music. That also happens on YouTube a lot. If you use any kind of music that's detected by the auto content ID system, let's say you use Beatles or whatever, your stream could possibly be taken down. You could even receive a strike on your channel because streaming music doesn't really fall into fair use. There's no transformative way of presenting a song. Even covers aren't really protected in a gray area when it comes to fair use. It's not transformative. It's just the same as movies and TV. There's no way that you can clearly and reasonably edit and transform and provide commentary over something that is like a visual-based medium or an audio-based medium. It's not as interactive as, let's say, a video game. So anyways, continuing on this, it says, while streamers are clearly looking to avoid any further claims of copyright infringement, it seems like a safe bet that streamers won't have to worry about this from game publishers anytime soon. Let me get a sip of my Subway water. Hutchinson's does not see it that way, however, arguing that publishers should choose to start enforcing copyrights as well. Now, these are his tweets, and I gotta say, he came across as somebody throwing a little bit of a hissy fit, because it's not that simple. In my opinion, as soon as you purchase a game, you buy the license. You're licensing the game by purchasing it, and therefore you have the right to interact with it and play with it as you see fit. Now, streaming as a whole is still relatively new. There hasn't been many court cases in regards to streaming and how it falls into fair use and things like that. But it's a little bit more transformative of a work than, let's say, a book or a album or something like that, because you're actually controlling what happens on the screen. Sure, there's cutscenes and plot points and things like that. And in the past, Nintendo has actually done DMCA for people that have shown their stuff. For quite a while, actually, during the Wii U era, lots of people wouldn't touch Nintendo games because they would get DMCA and takedowns, copyright notices, and videos claimed. Trust me, I had to go through all that mess. But since then, they've changed their stance and stuff because gaming just kind of falls into a gray area. Even beyond that, it's not so much just streamers that should be paying a fine. The bigger picture of this is video game players shouldn't be paying fines or paying game companies at all for streaming, period. And I'll get on to an interesting take on this Google Stadia situation in just one moment, but we're going to read Alex's tweets. He says streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they use music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. And that is a bad take. If you buy a game, you own it. You own that game. You own the right to play it. The real truth is, streamers should be paying for the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use. And this is the Google Stadia creative director, mind you. Now, this goes on to kind of give him a little bit of devil's advocate. It says, Hutchinson's correct that many streamers are profiting off the games that are being streamed, but the benefits are far from one-sided. It's unlikely that a stream will convince viewers to buy a certain music track upon hearing it, but streaming has had a massive impact on video game sales. Take, for example, Among Us. The game has struggled since its release in 2018, but exploded in popularity after Twitch streamers discovered the game earlier this year. Among Us is not an outlier. Several games have found much larger audience thanks to streamers and will continue to do so. And I can tell you guys from experience, even just me playing like a Mario 3D All-Stars, a Mario 35th Anniversary, whatever the hell you want to play, Mario Kart Live, I've had people on my streams telling me, oh man, I'm going to buy this now because of watching you play it. Oh, I'm going to buy this game because I didn't know it was out yet and I caught this on stream. There is free publicity in this. No matter how big or small the streamer is, it's still an avenue of publicity for gaming. So it says the idea that streamers should be paying publishers for essentially advertising their games for free completely ignores the realities of streaming and how much publishers currently benefit from this type of publicity. If publishers started charging streamers to play those games, only the biggest would be able to afford to do so, making it impossible for smaller names to establish themselves. It will also cause streamers to move towards publishers that weren't enforcing copyrights, hugely benefiting smaller publishers. And this goes on to also mention, you know, because of streaming, people like Dr. Disrespect have gotten to get their skins into games or even become popular, you know, playable characters and options. I even have a skin on a Nintendo Switch racing game, Xenon Racer. If you want to go, you can get the 8-bit Eric skin. But it says the reality is that DMCA takedowns that have been happening to streamers are a big problem. Twitch has not informed streamers what content violated copyright, and some of the removed content could have been years in the past. Artists like T-Pain have made music available for streamers to use copyright-free, which could help moving forward, but that doesn't resolve the issues with older content. Fortunately, it seems like a safe bet that streamers won't have to worry about similar issues with the games themselves anytime soon. So, I highly doubt developers and publishers are going to come out and try to force gamers to pay to stream. If anything, you would say Twitch should be giving a license out to the developers. But even then, I'm going to say I disagree with that in general. Again, there is a big gray area with this. But what's funny and what catches my attention the most about this is it's the Google Stadia creative director. Now, if you look at the features of Google Stadia, it relies heavily on the concept of streaming. One of the things that they promoted as a feature was that you can actually join anybody that's currently streaming the game on Stadia, like NBA 2K or, you know, a Call of Duty or any kind of game. If somebody is streaming a game on Google Stadia, you can instantly connect and join their stream session and watch it. Or you could even join their game. And it's like an endless streaming session that you're able to go to and from. So why in the blue hell would the creative director of Google Stadia have such a strong stance against streaming if the whole concept of Google Stadia is based on interactions and incorporating the idea of streaming games with the firmware in the software of it? That's backwards. I bet you my entire video game collection that this Google Stadia creative director, will not have his job very soon, because this is almost anti-consumer with these comments. Not just for streamers, not just for e-beggars, but as gamers as a whole. The whole concept of streaming, especially in this digital age, is growing and getting bigger. Anybody can turn on their PlayStation 4 and start streaming directly off the console, whether you're accepting donations or super chats or any kind of monetary gain from it or monetary ads or not. Nobody should be paying to have to stream games. That's not a sense of entitlement. That's just how it goes. That's how owning a game copy gives you the rights to license in that game. And actually, believe it or not, playing a game and showing yourself on camera or editing a review is a transformative work that falls completely in fair use. The only way that a game being streamed would not fall in fair use is if it was being given out to pirate, to illegally obtain it, to buy it without having to pay for it. So if you went to like a website and you downloaded a PlayStation 5 game without paying for it, you don't have the rights to that game. But once you pay it, that is pretty much yours. So this is a very interesting take from Alex Hutchinson. To work for Google Stadia as a creative director that's promoting the idea and concept of making streaming features a big part of your product, and you talk to gamers like that, epic fail. This was probably the worst take I've ever heard in gaming history. And yeah, so what do you guys think? Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't already. We will keep updated on this. I'll see you soon.